Holla everybody, welcome to some early morning UHL.
Yeah,
With your boy,
buddy.
Robubson, and your boy Redwall at 55. How you doing today, man?
What's up, man? I'm doing all right. Started off, early here, getting some good Hearthstone action. Hopefully, a good match.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be a good one. We got Andrew is living versus Illyri, two of the serious hopefuls.
Yes, they're both in the hunt right now.
So this could be a big match when it comes to the playoffs. Obviously, the last match we casted was a bit more of a meme fest, you might
Yeah.
say, but this one's got the makings of a pretty big one, I would say.
Yeah, whoever wins this will be in first place in the community conference. So,
Ooh, mama. So that's big. Um, I just became aware that I was casting this about 10 minutes ago. So
probably 10 minutes ago.
I am thoroughly unprepared for what is about to come, but obviously I live in Europe, so this is 4:30 in the afternoon for me, so it's not like I really have much to do on a lazy Saturday afternoon, so I just came and sat down to my computer to a bunch of messages from Red Wall here saying, "You ready?" And I was like, "What? Ready for what?"
Well, I found out I have to work later this afternoon, too. So, plans change. It happens.
Good stuff. Yeah, so
I'm
these
going to
two-
message Andrew and Illyri.
yeah, let them know that we are live, we are ready to go, and we will soon be able to just get into what's going on here. So, two players with, I believe, 6 different classes between them today. So, we're not going to have any Shaman mirrors today. No Shadow Walk
Nope.
mirrors. Very disappointing that. Illyri's got a Mage, a Shaman, and a Warlock, while Andrew's got a Hunter, a Priest, and a Warrior. All decks which are pretty prominent in the meta right now, because every class has something going on in the meta right now, which is pretty fantastic, if you ask me. I'm a big fan of the game right now. It feels pretty cool to just play everything. Obviously, what generally does happen is you play, if you choose a deck to play, you'll probably queue into like its direct counter, but that's Hearthstone. It always happens.
Yeah, that's been my issue early on this weekend, at least, since the restart, going up against. I feel like I've queued into my worst matchup every time, but, we got a long month ahead of us, so.
Yep, I'm going to have a nice, relaxed month. I've been tryharding for the past 2 months, and it kind of destroyed me mentally, so not doing that again.
I hear you.
Grinding ladder just saps your soul.
All right, I think the players are ready. I've given them the green light here.
Excelente. So, yeah, let them know. So, ladies and gentlemen, for your viewing pleasure, we're going to have Andrew is living on the bottom of your screens, and we're going to have Illyri at the top. And of course, two of the big podcasting community. So remember to check out the Happy Hearthstone and the Innkeepers podcast, and we'll get there just as soon as spectator mode decides to start working. So bear with us for just 1 second. They are in game, and Illyri needs to allow spectating. Turn on spectate, please. And what we have here is Andrew on the Priest, Illyri on the Shaman.
Yes, and there we go. Now Illyri's letting us watch. Perfect.
And we are in! Enjoy.
There we go.
Let's get this show on the road. So what we can see from Andrew is there's a Shadow Ascendant, there's an Inner Fire. Inner Fire can only mean one thing. This is a combo Priest. While Illyri there's a Fire Plume Harbinger, and that can also mean only one thing. There's going to be some jaws that catch, and some claws that catch, and jaws that bite.
catch.
God, can't even get that
There we
right.
go. This is the second week in a row we've seen a Fire Plume Harbinger, I think. The second match we've casted here, so.
No, I believe in our previous match it was the Keleseth version.
Ah.
Not
Gotcha.
the guaranteed combo. which is what Illyri's running here. Because I guess what Illyri's experienced is the 1 in 3 or 1 in 6 chance of Shadow not returning to hand one too many times. And she just doesn't fancy it happening this time.
Exactly.
And, oh my good lord, there is an
golden?
unpowered Steam bot, and it's golden. So we're gonna hover over this and just kind of savor the 4 mana 0/9, which has a really cool golden artwork. I just gotta say.
That is really nifty. That is cool. And the silence comes out to just take care of that Doomsayer right now. I guess there's not a better target in this deck that Andrew would be worried about, so I'm okay with that.
Yep, and crucially for Illyri, Farsight hits Hex, and against a combo priest, that can be very, very useful if they go in on a minion too early. Andrew,
I could see her dropping that next turn possibly to get rid of this Radiant Elemental.
I'm quite surprised to not see the unpowered Steambot come out, to be honest.
Yeah, there's no threats on the board for it. It could have sat there. It looks like Andrew's just kind of
taking it slow.
Yeah.
Gonna get in that early chip damage, because without any Divine Spirits or Shadow Visions in hand, still kind of got to focus more on the early chip damage. And going into turn 5, still got to be very aware of Volcano.
Yeah, that's caught me a couple times this week. I think I'm doing pretty well, especially with the Spell Hunter matchup. You know, you drop that.
You drop the Spellstone, they drop Volcano. You're sad.
It's not fun.
Or they roll spell damage and play Lightning Storm.
Right.
That's the one which
it
feels
seems
much
to happen
worse.
every time. Oh boy, Illyri taking her time here. She's got a couple options. She could drop the Serenite Chain Gang if she wants. There she goes. Yep.
Taunts do stop 12/12 minions from hitting you in the face.
That is true.
It's a very important facet of Hearthstone. And Andrew has quite a few options available to him in his hand. There's the Injured Blade Master, there's the Target, there's the Acolyte of Pain, which is actually kind of an interesting insurance against Volcano.
Yeah, that would be. He'd be guaranteed to draw at least 2 cards with the Serenites on the board, but
yeah,
we'll see what happens here. Probably wants to save the Injured Blade Master until he gets a Circle of Healing.
It just makes me so happy that Injured Blade Master Circle of Healing is back in the game.
It's back. Oh goodness, I'm getting cat aggro here on my headphones.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Uh-oh.
That sounds unfortunate. And this Shadow Ascendant is just going to keep on doing a pretty decent amount of work. And like the longer the Shadow Ascendant is alive, the harder it is going to be for Illyri to clear with Volcano. Not that it's been drawn yet, but it's the most important board control tool that the Shadowwalk Shaman has, especially as I can just see the deck, and there is only Primordial Drake as other AoE. We don't have a Hagatha in this deck, so that 3 damage
Interesting.
is not going to be available to Illyri at any point. Oh, and there we are. That's the card that Andrew was looking for.
Yes, it is. That Divine Spirit Art right off the top here. The question is, how does he want to utilize this? It looks like he's hovering it. There it is, the unpowered Steambot on the board.
Yep, and Andrew feels, I think, a lot safer to use this, having just seen that Hex come down. And decides to hit into the Sandbinder. Did lay out the oops emote there. So I think that was just a misclick. That was most likely intended to hit Morgul in the face. But
I would imagine so, at least.
Yeah, but, you know, these things happen. It's early in the morning for a lot of you.
Yes. Depending on where you are, I guess the West Coast is dealing with, 7:40 in the morning right now, so...
Yeah, it's very true. I only know what time it is on Pacific time because Shameless plug. I'm going to be on Into the Wild later on today.
Hey, all right. Well, there we go.
Making the rounds today.
That's a good thing. Man, I tell you what, Into the Wild starting to gain some traction. They've had some pretty big names. They're
And now they've gone right downhill, getting weird.
oh,
It's all gone backwards.
I don't know about that. Oh boy. All right, so the Power Word Shield's going to keep on buffing up that Radiant Elemental, and Andrew's held on to. Well, he doesn't have the Hex to deal with it. He doesn't have
Master
Volcano.
Spell is a pretty appetizing thing here.
I think it's almost auto pick over the Circle of Healing. Is not going to do a lot for you.
And you have
the
an
Inner
Fire.
Fire. Yeah.
Yep, because you can just go right in right now, heal up the Steambot to 9, double it up to 18, and then Inner Fire. That is going to be 21 damage to the face. Just cash in right now.
Looks like he's in. That's a big swing turn for him too. That puts Illyria on the clock here.
It's a very short clock as well. The clock reads 1. It reads, you have 1 turn to kill this or you die.
No answers.
Can grumble to lay down another Serenite Chain Gang, although we'll have to trade in. Wait, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand. So it would go Doomsayer, Sandbinder, Searing Totem, Serenite. So we'll need to trade in the Sandbinder and the Searing Totem to get the Chain Gang back into hand. Let's hope that unless the coin is played preemptively, because that
might be.
If a coin comes out preemptively, then that would allow the Doomsayer to be played behind the Serenite Chain Gang. So I think that's the play that I would like to see come out.
Ooh, Farsight instead.
Yep, and that's. I think Illyria didn't see the Grumble play there.
No, I think you're right. The line was there for to have an out.
Yep, because as we can see, like you've just seen Master Spell come from a Shadow Visions. There is not going to be really any.
No, that's it.
That is G to the G. Maybe
wow. Combo Priest, and Robobson, we were talking about it before the stream started, how this Combo Priest, you saw a couple people hit Legend with it day 1.
Yep, it's been honestly tearing it up on ladder, which has been pretty interesting to see. Combo Priest has always been like, I am a huge Priest player, but Combo Priest has always been the one that eludes me, really. Never quite got the hang of it, but a lot of people are reporting a great amount of success with it, and a big part of it has been that unpowered Steambot. 4 mana 0/9s, when you inner fire them, really good. So just before we get back into game number 2, of course it is a UHL tradition to remind you all that if you like what you see, if you're enjoying the games, if you're kind of enjoying watching some Hearthstone while you have your breakfast or you're still half asleep, then remember, we'd like to remind you to head on over to patreon.com/UnitedHSLeague, where there's a whole variety of different tiers available to you. You can go on the UHA rundown, you can be shouted out for a week or indeed an entire season of matches. If you're the kind of person who likes hearing their name bandied about with boundless enthusiasm by the likes of myself and Redwaller here, then there's a whole variety of rewards available for you to enjoy. And if you donate enough, then maybe you can come and stroke Redwaller's lovely looking cat.
Yeah, she's suddenly decided to get real cuddly here. I've been sitting here for 2 hours. She ignored me, and then of course right when we start talking, she says, that lap looks pretty good.
Looks pretty cozy to me. I mean, I'd come join, but that'd be pretty weird.
Yeah, that'd be a little weird.
Right, so
boy.
We are just going to let the players know that they can get right back into match number 2. Oh, hello, cat.
This is what I deal with. Excuse me, miss. Come on. There.
She's a good girl.
Yes.
Just moderately irritating in the manner that all cats are.
Yeah, she's not bad. Her sister's over there sleeping on the couch ignoring us, so.
That's sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. Normally what happens is, oh, I see you're doing something moderately important. Now is my time. Now is my time. So we are going to get back into match number 2. Andrew is living, going to be on the Hunter with some secrets, a Spellstone, and a Silver Vanguard. This is a Recruit Hunter.
Wonder what that could mean.
While Illyri has a Plated Beetle and a Defile and a Spellstone in hand, that could really mean one of two things. That just means Warlock so far.
Yes, it could easily be the control variant of this deck, or that even Warlock that has been
or just Cube
doing very well. Yeah, or Cube.
Oh, we can see the hero power has lit up. That means it's 1 mana. That means our good buddy Golden Gren. Man, the Golden Gen. The Golden Gen is with us again.
Hey, there's a rhyme right there.
And Andrew has a pretty strong looking opening hand. Several secrets to go alongside this Spellstone, which can be... So Andrew can go Secret on 2, Secret on 3, Coin Spellstone on 4, and crucially for Illyri, there is no Hellfire in hand just yet.
No Hellfire, she's got the Lich King in hand. The Hooked Reaver's not going to do a lot. She does trade in. Ooh.
And gives Andrew some card draw. And that's not really what you want to
give this deck list. But she probably doesn't realize it's Recruit Hunter yet either, though. We've only seen a secret. He's gonna drop that freeze trap.
Fully upgraded Spellstone on turn 3, and there's the second Spellstone. With another 2 secrets in hand.
He's got the tools right now, Robobson, to really snowball this match.
Yep, and just like we said, there is still no Hellfire. Illyri has this Hooked Reaver, but you don't really want to be playing a 4-mana 4/4.
No. There's the Mountain Giant. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, and because Illyri hadn't been tapping quite so much, the Giant's not going to be playable until next turn. And I'd be very, very surprised if we don't see this Coin Spellstone right about now.
Yep, looks like that's exactly what Andrew's thinking. He's going to throw out the Wolves. Here they come. 4 3/3s now on the board for Andrew. And...
Oh, good lord.
There's the top deck you want to see.
Yep, so Illyri might... I imagine she's going to attack face to test for Wandering Monster to make sure anything is left on the board for this Hellfire to come down. Which it is.
Easy play.
Yep, going to buff up that Spellstone some more. And, of course, at Redwater, we always like to tap last. That is how we play Hearthstone.
That's how I play Hearthstone, at least. I'll tell you that much. There's that Play Dead. That card has just been... I like that card more and more as I've messed around with the Death Rattle Recruit Hunter.
Yeah, no, it was a card which, like, way back when it was printed in Frozen Throne, which is kind of like, this card definitely has a lot of potential.
Exactly.
And it's just only, like, it was really the printing of Carnivorous Cube in Kobolds and Catacombs that allowed this card to really be, oh, there's a lot of stuff you can do here.
Yes. You could just fill your board. You get a Savannah Highmane down, and you could fill the board with a cube Play Dead combo. It's pretty wild.
Yep, and now Illyri is going to play a 4-mana Beetle as well as a Vulgar Homunculus.
Interesting. And that was with the Twilight Drake option. The Mountain Giant could have come down.
Yeah, I think the reasoning behind that is just you have seen 2 secrets get played after a freezing trap had already triggered. There is a strong possibility of a second freezing trap, and playing a Mountain Giant into that just feels so bad. So that's the reasoning for the cheaper minions for Illyri, I believe. And the Seeping Oozling comes out, gets a Silver Vanguard, and this is the real thing about playing against Recruit Hunter. You never quite know whether you want to trigger the death battles or not. Like, is it better for me or worse to kill this thing?
The good thing for Illyri right now She probably just realized that this was the recruit hunter when the CP News League came down. She has the Spellstone, and she's going to test for the secrets.
Yep, so this is going to trigger both the freezing and the explosive. So that's the secrets dealt with. There's no more freezing trap in the deck, and that has been one wandering monster and one explosive trap so far. So now that both freezing traps have come down, this giant is safe to play, and this beetle is going to be played for the 3rd time this game.
The beetle's getting some work done.
That beetle's been hopping around quite a lot, and what a turn Andrew has here. There is the Spellstone, Candle Shot, Hunter's Mark, Kill the Giant.
Can play dead, clear the beetle, get a 7/7 out, and kill the giant while maintaining the minion. This is not looking good for Leary all of a sudden on turn 7 here.
This was just another option. Andrew had so many possible turns there. This may just be better than the one I thought. I quite liked getting the Spellstone out over the Play Dead because I feel like the Oozling's going to stay alive no matter what. While
that would put a little bit more pressure down, I suppose. Of course, she could clear it with another Hellfire, but even that would put her health total so low that
she did play the Hellfire off the top just 3 turns
That
ago.
is true.
So
that is true.
I think if you're Andrew, there's a good read that the Hellfire is not like the leftmost 6 cards in hand.
Right. I guess he could be thinking, just put the biggest minion down. Either play was solid.
Right. Witchwood Grizzly is probably not the best card in this matchup against a Warlock who's going to be tapping furiously. It's never really going to be anything more than a 5 mana 3/7, something along those lines, and that's not great. And yeah, so there's the Charged Devilsaur, which could just kill this Hooked Reaver from hand. And it looks like Andrew's considering that line.
I think that is what he's looking at. And then he'll still put another 8 damage to the face.
But then you don't get to kill off the Seeping Oozling is the issue with this approach. If you put in the Oozling and the Wolf, then you're going to get an 8-drop, which is the Lich King, as it turns out. You've just seen a Spellstone come out, so this is going to be really hard to deal with. So you might just play the Spellstone and start jamming face. Even elects to throw the Candle Shot hit to face because it's 1 damage to a Warlock. Why not?
Exactly.
And they need a Hellfire to clear this, and that's going to do yet more damage to them.
Can she get... There's no way to get a 1 health minion for that Defile that's just been sitting in her hand the whole game.
Yeah, Defile is very much a dead card against a lot of hunters.
Yep.
Q-Block or Controller can get around that particular issue with the play by obviously Kobold Librarian, but Kobold Librarian, 1 mana card, cannot be running this. You do get the Kobold Librarian effect without the 2/1 with the hero power, but sometimes you do need that 1 health minion. And Illyri, I do believe there is no clear available right now.
Nope, it looks like this is it. Another... Just waiting for the inevitable, looks like.
Yep, that Lich King just getting in the way, being all big, golden, and bootylicious.
He does look good there, doesn't he?
Man, Golden Lich King has swagger for days.
All right.
Gonna get down a mountain. This would be such a powerful turn if Illyri wasn't already in such a bad position.
You're right. If Andrew, let's say, didn't have those 4 wolves, he just had the Lich King, this would look great. And there's the Charged Devilsaur to seal.
Yes, indeed.
Moving down the list, my goodness. Well, that was a quick one, Robobson. Another one.
Yep, the Recruit Warrior just kind of showing why it's been such a solid pick in the current meta. A lot of people playing kind of mid-range to slow-ish decks, which applying a huge amount of moderately early mid-game pressure, like the Recruit Hunter can do, will just punish so hard.
Yep.
And just being really tricky to deal with Death Rattles. Cards like only the card classes like Mage and Shaman really have ways of actually dealing with that with Polymorph and Hex. Everyone else just kind of has to trade fairly into minions, and then your like 8 mana 6/6 will summon a 9/9 or something. And when you're just battling with minions alone, that's a lot of damage to be sinking into like 8 drops.
Exactly. Yep. It's one of these decks too that can go off. It doesn't need a whole lot of setup. You get a Kathrena down, and all of a sudden the game's over. It just 2 turns later. So
Kathrena is a brutal card to play against. You never quite know what you're going to be dealing with, and like I said, you have the 6/6 on the board with the Death Rattle. It's like I should probably trigger the Death Rattle because they've got Play Dead.
Yep.
But if you don't kill it, then she's going to trade off with like 3 of your different minions and just seize board control in that sense. So I really like that Hunter deck from Andrew. It was pretty spicy, and the Golden Lich King really rounded it off. So we're going to get into match 3. Andrew is looking to seal out the sweep here with this warrior, and Fireplume's Heart being a pretty good indicator of what kind of warrior this is.
Yep, and we just saw the 4 mana cost card in there as well, so we know it is the standard recruit, or the standard quest warrior.
I would not go so far as to say standard, because this deck has a Rabid Worgen.
Ooh, some rush tech in.
Yeah, so this is kind of... I've been playing around with Quest Warrior quite a bit recently, and I've kind of been thinking that maybe the Rush Warrior package, you know, just Town Crier, Rabid Worgen, and Darius Crowley, which like was a big part of kind of the power of Odd Warrior, although that's kind of fallen off a little bit, and could be like a very nice little proactive package for Taunt Warrior. Well, Illyri's deck, we are seeing, it looks very much like a pretty standard Tempo Mage right now, which is a classically favoured matchup for the Tempo Mage. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it does have that feel, doesn't it?
Yeah, like I think the stats are like 60-40 Tempo Mage versus Quest Warrior, just because of the lack of proactive cards. And Andrew actually being forced to use the coin.
I think that's a good turn to use it. He could have played the coin and either used the Rabid Worgen or the Stonehill, so I wouldn't be opposed to popping it right there.
Yep, and Illyri is just going to plow through these minions and throw out the bane of everyone playing against Mage everywhere, the Mana Worm. But this Rabid Worgen is not going to be on Illyri's mind, I don't think.
Nope, this is a perfect place for that Rabid Worgen, and why it acts as a nice little body there.
Yep, that will 100% have taken Illyri by surprise, I think. Looking at the notes, I think this is a deck taken from Casey, the German player. So it just may not be on Illyri's radar. And Illyri there's the options for playing some more 1/2s with this Firefly, this Flame Elemental, and pinging down this 3/2, or just value trading with the Arcanologist, playing a Secret perhaps. Because Runes is going to do some work against a Taunt at some point. Allowing you to get a little bit more minion pressure through before you start just burning face.
Alright, so she does end up doing that. She goes with the Explosive Runes, drop the second Firefly, and then starts going face.
Yeah. So, Illyri does what is, I think, one of my personal pet peeves when it comes to playing Hearthstone, which is playing 2 Fireflies instead of playing the Flame Elemental. Because you let your opponent know what 2 cards of your hand are instead of 1.
Yep.
I think that's just a slight technical misstep from Illyri there. But Bloodrazor is going to do a pretty solid amount of work here.
Yeah, he can just clean that board up if he wants.
Oh,
instead he just goes with the taunt. Oh, to clear the secret. Okay. Test the secret. A little bit punished for it now, though.
Yeah, and that's one of the big quest completion minions right there, gone. maybe it's a concession to the fact that Andrew does not feel he's going to win this game through quest completion. But Bloodrazor did look very good there, and when you have a cornered sentry in your hand as well, it looks quite appealing.
Well, now Andrew's on the back foot a little bit. The Bloodrazor's still not a bad play this turn, but it certainly was better last turn. Now the Saronite Chain Gang comes into hand for Andrew, though, and looks like, I think that'd be my line there. Yep.
And this is the other thing about not playing Bloodrazor last turn. Everything's just become very wonky in terms of mana. There is a Blaze Caller that comes in.
Elemental Mage all of a sudden is what this deck changes into.
There is a Blaze Caller, there is a Steam Surger. So I think we're going to see one of these Flame Elementals come down right now, set up for the Blaze Caller next turn. Combine that with a Ping. Fills up the curve perfectly, and there's going to be 5 damage sunk into somewhere.
This is... Illyri's played this better than I even realized, because I think Andrew is only thinking right now about Tempo Mage.
Yeah. Firefly, of course, it did sometimes make an appearance in Tempo Mage, especially when Even Paladin was particularly dominant, just because 1/2s challenge 1/1s.
Yes.
And this Blaze Caller is absolutely perfect here.
Great turn for it. Now, I'm surprised Andrew dropped the Cornered Sentry after drawing a Dry Whisker. He chooses to clear there. That Dry Whisker would have gained him 12 armor.
Now, this is a very interesting turn for Andrew. Yep, he's going to have to play out the Warpath just to trigger the counter spell, and that is a very valuable resource to have been countered. Can attack face, execute, clear the board, and play out a Rabid Worgen, which will at least give Andrew some modicum of board control.
Well, he's able to clear the board at least. Now he's got to worry about what other elemental she has in hand.
And this is where the kind of elemental package really kind of shines once you get into this stage of the game. Before Tempo Mage, because it ran so few relatively weak minions, it couldn't really scale up into the mid game. Or elementals, like look at this turn. Couldn't really do that before. with normal Tempo Mage.
No, you may be lucky to. She probably would have been forced to use the Arcane Intellect there, but that's a great curve turn. Town Crier comes into hand for Andrew. I'm sure we've seen both of the Rabid Worgens, so I'm assuming Darius Crowley here is the only other rush minion.
Yeah, no other rush minions really kind of made any kind of impact. We are going to see what happens here.
Very empty hand right now for Andrew. Does he?
Absolutely. There's been no Acolyte of Pain or Shield Block available. And now we've got to take a look at how much damage is in Illyri's hand. With Fireball, Frostbolt, and Flame Geyser, that is 11 damage with 3 on board. Fungal Mancer is going to allow for an extra 4 to be put on board, essentially. So what I'd like to see, really like to see this turn, is the Flame Elemental, the Fungal Mancer, jam face with the Water Elemental, and then start pinging.
Yeah, you definitely want... She wants to keep Andrew from attacking and breaking that Bloodrazor, so... There we go. Okay, so she's going to load the board up, it looks like.
Yep. And this Watermelon, like we say, is just going to stop Andrew from ever triggering Bloodrazor unless he draws another weapon. And with both Bloodrazors already having been drawn, it's very unlikely unless there's something like a Scourgelord Garrosh, which is a very fringe inclusion in some decks, but yeah, still not impossible.
Let me look at the deck list here. I've got it up. So he's looking. These are a lot of mid-range cards Andrew runs, it looks like. He's still 2 taunts away from completing the quest. There's Crowley. He's got a good trade with the Flame Elemental, at least.
Yep.
But she has answers.
Bonfire Elemental is I think what really makes this kind of deck tick, this card right here. 5 mana, 5/5, draw a card is insane. That's
It's
like
great value at 5.
that's Azure Drake, but better. Plus, it keeps the elemental chain going, and we all know how important that is.
Absolutely. So it looks like she is going to draw first with the Bonfire Elemental, puts another body down, gets the Blaze Caller. So that sets up 5 damage for next turn. I think she is looking to Frostbolt, Crowley, but
I'm just thinking of how much damage is available. She has 7.
I wonder.
and with 5 mana as her.
I'm just wondering if Frost Fireballing the Tar Creeper is actually the appropriate play. No, Illyri's still gonna... She has been very consistent with this kind of board control line. I guess she feels with Andrew as having quite as few cards available to him that this is kind of just a guaranteed victory rather than like a 90% victory.
Yep.
Either way,
interesting.
It's looking very bad for Andrew, this position.
He finally picks up an Acolyte of Pain. That's going to draw him 1 card. Town Crier's got no targets left, I don't believe.
That is a 1 mana 1/2.
Which is not bad early in the game, but now is not the time you want to draw that Town Crier off the top. And is that it? 5 damage. Yep, that's it. Fireball.
Blaze Caller and Frostbolt is going to do it. Fireball and Frost Pig is going to do it. There are a lot of different ways to find lethal there for Illyri, and find it she does.
Alright, so Illyri's going to extend the series. Excellent.
That she is.
Elemental Tempo Mage gets the job done. And
Apex
now...
Void comes through once again.
Yes, he does.
If you want an aggressive mage deck, just go and find whatever the hell Apex Void has been playing, because it's always weird and it's always somewhat good. Just like
Yes. That's a good way to describe it, I think.
Yep, there's always some kind of... And he always puts Fungal Mancer in everything for some reason.
He likes that card. I don't blame him. It's not bad.
It's a pretty good card if you're looking to go full aggression. Like, I remember when he played the Fungal Mage in the previous expansion or meta, where he was playing Ghastly Conjurer to put Mirror Image into your hand just so you could play Fungal Mancer on it.
Not a bad combo. All right, so Rabobson, what does Illyri want to bring against this Quest Warrior? She has the Shutterwalk Shaman and now the Even Warlock. And both are decent options here.
I'd go for the Shutterwalk as the kind of the very close to a guaranteed win. That is a very favoured matchup for Shutterwalk. Especially if Illyri, as we've seen, is running the guaranteed OTK version.
Yes.
Which will guarantee a Shutterwalk returning to hand. Because I've been playing a lot of Quest Warrior recently, and what I've generally found is my path to victory is just hoping that Shutterwalk screws up at some point.
Yes, that's if he messes up, you're in good shape. Now, this is a good opening hand for Andrew with the Town Crier. That's where you want to see the Town Crier is turn 1.
Yep.
The 1/2-on-1 is good. Illyri just sends the whole hand back. There's the Mountain Giant with the coin. That means a Mountain Giant on turn 8. Or on turn 3, excuse me.
Turn 8 is a pretty late Mountain Giant.
Turn 8 would be terrible. Turn 3, much better.
Yep. But crucially, Andrew has that early execute in hand.
Ah, he does, yes. Wow. What a good hand for him here. And there's the Acolyte to draw him some more cards, get things rolling.
Yeah, plenty of card draw available to Andrew. And Illyri has... She's got 2 Doomsayers and 2 Hellfires, and really the matchup, you don't want them. Hellfire is in this matchup is just face damage.
Yep.
That's all you really care about it doing. Illyri really needs to tap here, otherwise the Giant is not going to be playable next turn.
Yeah, I think tap is 100% the play. nothing else gets her any value. Oh, but she disagrees. She's going to go with that Doomsayer instead.
Really, really respecting the Town Crier.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen Town Crier inspire this much respect.
Huh. I don't think so either. Wow. All right. And now she's kind of at a...
Now she's going to play
Not a
another
great
Doomsayer,
turn.
I guess.
She could... Well, there's the Beetle, at least. So she has some 2-drop options. She could go with the Beetle or with that second Doomsayer. And the Vulgar Homunculus in there. I think she wants to save that. And there's a shield block. More draw for Andrew.
Yep. Really needs some taunt minions at some point, though. That would be great.
Yeah, I think he's drawn everything but the taunt minions. Those will come. He just really needs those Phantom Militias.
Yep. And to not die. That is crucial in this matchup. So Mountain Giant can be played with the tap here, and I'd be...
That's something I always
incredibly
forget. It's a free hero power.
Yes. The tap basically just allows you to increase your hand size by 1, but it's been a...
There's the answer right there. The emote immediately from Leary to respond.
Yep, plenty of emotes going back and forth here. Love it. That's what it's all about. And Andrew probably just going to throw out a hero power here.
Maybe a shield block. No, he's just going to rush it down. He had all kinds of options.
Very many. And once again, board control courtesy of...
No,
these.
Leary can put down the Twilight Drake if she wants to.
Or she can coin Dread Infernal to remove this Rabid Worgen from the board.
And she'd probably be pretty comfortable playing that. Seeing the first execute go down, and then an empty board with a 6/6 is not a bad play.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And Andrew's still yet to play a single taunt, or even draw a single taunt. This is, I feel, kind of the main issue with this particular strategy when it comes to deck building the Taunt Warrior. Because obviously if you want to include this proactive rush package, something's got to go. And that something's probably a few taunts here and there.
Yep, I'm looking at his list now, so it runs 2 Stonehill Defenders, 2 Tar Creepers, 2 Serenite Chain Gangs, and 2 Phantom Militias. And that's all the taunts, so... Well, and the Primordial Drakes.
That is 9 taunts.
Yep.
Obviously,
he finally got one, and it generates him a second, so not a bad pickup.
And
you take the Silverback Patriarch here, Robobson?
I would 100% take the Silverback Patriarch here. Two 1/4s against a Warlock is so difficult for them to deal with. Because Hellfire doesn't kill them. They'd have to go something like Defile Hellfire.
And at that point, she's damaging her own minion.
But no, I'm just going to see a shield block come out here. And there's the Phantom Militia. That's
what Andrew wanted to see, right there.
That's the big boy of this deck.
Absolutely. Second Mountain Giant in hand, though, comes off the top for Illyri.
Oh.
And she decides she doesn't want that.
Nope.
And, you know, she didn't see much of this deck in the first match. So she may be afraid of Brawl there.
If you're playing against a Warrior, you've got to be a bit afraid of Brawl at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I guess if you take the Ornery Direhorn last turn, you probably want to play it this turn.
Yep, and if he get a Divine Shield there, that would stall it out, or a plus health would be helpful.
Or even a can't be targeted by spells, would at least soak up something. Because you've seen Homunculus, there's probably some inkling of a Spellstone. And they're just going to put the most bodies on board possible. The more things that are on board, the less likely these minions are to hit face.
That's right. Yeah, she wants to start really taking out that life total as soon as possible. We're on turn 7 already.
Andrew's on 34 health. That's a decent life total. Illyri has so far done 1 damage to Andrew.
Ugh.
And that was a Dread Infernal. Speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil, the second Dread Infernal comes down. I don't think she wants to keep playing minions on this board. That seems like her game plan.
Is to not to overcommit.
Yep.
So I'd be very surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there's just a pass at this point. Kind of feels that this is enough pressure to be going on with.
There is the pass, but Primordial Drake comes in the hand for Andrew. It won't kill anything on the board, and it would die to the board, so probably doesn't want to go with that.
Most likely not. Could go Ornery Direhorn and Dryowisker Armor to just kind of keep the health up.
Poison's not bad.
But it still doesn't really do anything. It's still dying to this Dread Infernal, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Twilight Drake number 2. Illyri has drawn almost all of her big threats at this point.
Yep, we have the Lich King in hand, Mountain Giant in hand. She decides that... Well, I'm surprised she cleared that.
Yep, the good news is Primordial Drake is now going to kill something.
Yes.
The bad news is it's the worst thing.
It's only a 2/2. Another awkward turn. He's had a lot of these kind of awkward turns, it seems like.
Yep.
You think he's looking at Blood Razor, Rabid Worgen. Yep. Drywhisker Armor. So that's his second Drywhisker Armor.
Yep, and I quite like this. Oh.
Ooh, he takes the 6 damage, though. And he kills off his Rabid Worgen. Oh.
No, it leaves the Rabid Worgen alive, but takes 6 to the face. I'm not sure whether that's... which way round is preferable, to be honest with you. Because a 3/1's alright, but Warlocks have a lot of ways of doing 1 damage to the board.
Yeah.
There's Defile, there's Hellfire, there's...
That Dread Infernal, too. Again, that's what killed off the first Rabid Worgen.
Yep. These poor Worgens didn't know what hit him. And he was actually going to go for the Hellfire to try and push some face damage.
Well, she has to... There's not a lot of things Hellfire is going to kill in his deck, as far as big taunts, so... Not the worst play.
Yeah, so, pushing this Razor face will allow this Primordial Drake to kill everything except a 4/3 Twilight Drake.
Shield Slam with the shield block will kill off that second Twilight Drake. And a Serenite Chain Gang's not bad pickup there for Andrew.
Yep.
She has that second Hellfire.
Right, so the quest completion is in hand. It will take another 2 turns. There is Blood Reaver Gul'dan, which as it stands will bring back a Dread Infernal and a Vulgar Homunculus, and that's about it. Blood Reaver Gul'dan's not so threatening when you don't have odd cost cards.
Yeah, that's true. Andrew's not worried about bringing back Void Daddy or anything like that. He can just start going.
Daddies.
There's the quest completion.
No Void Daddies, no Doom Guards, not even a Despicable Dreadlord to speak of.
Nope.
Just 4/4s and 2/4s and 6/6s. It's kind of vanilla minions. And with both Hellfires having been gone, there is no possibility for a Defile Hellfire to break through these. The only option is just...
Gul'dan.
Yeah.
Goes. I think that's what I would have played here too. She has a lot of big threats left. She knows that the quest, the Sulfuros, is ready to go.
Yeah, and that means she needs to start healing. So,
right.
Sulfuros can come up here after the hero power. The weapon can deal with this 2/4, and then the hero power is going to pick off something else, and then there is the option for Andrew of either a Tar Creeper or an Acolyte of Pain. Gonna go for the Tar Creeper to protect face even more, and just start going face.
Yep, I think Mountain Giant. I think it's about time. It's got so much less value now that the quest is completed.
1 hero power kills it.
Yep. I think she was just too afraid of losing that.
Yeah, I think Illyri possibly played a bit too heavily around Brawl this game and just didn't put on enough pressure.
And now the problem is that Hooked Reaver is basically a dead card for now. At least the Acidic Swamp Ooze handles the weapon.
Yep,
She's going to start working through the taunts. Still a lot of game left here, certainly.
Absolutely. But this Primordial Drake, as it stands, is a full board clear and a hero power to face.
Ooh. Full clear with the Primordial Drake, and
so if Andrew puts the Tar Creeper into the Spellbreaker, the 2/4 into the Dread Infernal, Primordial Drake will clear the board and guarantee Die Insect goes to the face. Looks like this is the line that Andrew spotted as well. So that is 8 damage to Illyri's face. And what Andrew is going to be looking to do for the rest of this game is use his removal in a very aggressive manner to just kind of remove the board, maximize the chances that this hero power hits Illyri in the face. And Illyri's game plan from this point is going to be using her own hero power quite aggressively whilst trying to play 2 minions per turn, at least.
Yes.
Because
man, I don't know what she does here. She could throw down the Spellbreaker, the Lich King.
Yeah, I'd like to see at least a Shroom Brewer.
She thinks now's the time. She's going to try to get some value off this Lich King. But Andrew's only used 1 Execute, I believe.
Yes, there's still a second Execute, but I think what has inspired this plan from Illyri is the fact that Andrew has used both Dry Whisker Armorers and both Shield Blocks. So I think I agree with her approach, if not the Lich King play, but being very aggressive with the hero power is how Illyri is going to win this game. She needs to keep hitting hero power on Andrew's face, and somehow stay alive for 4 more turns.
If that goes face, oh, it doesn't. Man, if that goes face, she is in a great position next turn to just really do some damage, but...
Yep. But the issue is Andrew's counterclock is a lot faster than Illyri's. Just playing 1 minion last turn means that there was a much greater chance of either her minion dying and Andrew's minions connecting face, or it going face and she's just closer to dying. She needs to be playing at least 2 minions per turn. So I'd like to see something like a Hooked Reaver followed by a Shroom Brewer alongside the hero power face.
Yep.
Of course she's got to play the Hooked Reaver first. That part's very important.
Well, she finally hit that break point. That card had just done nothing in her hand for this whole game.
Yep.
Oh.
Speaking of cards which have been in hand the whole game and done nothing,
Doomsayer number 2. Well, maybe she could play. Okay, so she does play the Doomsayer. The Silence, Sun Fury Protector to load up. The problem is she's still 3 turns away.
Yep. But she is currently 3 hero powers away, and I would really like to see a brawl come from Andrew here. You can attack into the Spellbreaker with the Primordial Drake, just to kind of maximize your chances of winning the brawl.
Yep.
You've got 2 in hand, so it's not exactly a resource that you need to hold on to.
That's exactly what the mysterious brawls is what we were looking at. All right, so she does win.
No hero power is interesting. That is 8 damage missed to the face. When you see Illyri's game plan is hero power your own face, you know you've got 3 turns left to live. I've got to say that I feel like skipping a hero power, even if it's to play Darius Crowley, is a definite misstep.
Oh man, yeah. The one good thing is that now he has complete control. If he misses this, if that Die Insect hits the Mountain Giant, she's saved 2 turns, essentially. The Warpath can kill. Oh, she's gonna straight. Okay, so that's 8 damage from the weapon.
But Andrew's
now both the Hooked Reavers are active, though.
Andrew's got no way of winning this game.
Yep, lay down both those Hooked Reavers. Hero power. Did she just win this for Bobson?
Yeah, she did. Skipping that hero power meant that Andrew had no outs essentially.
Wow.
Very well played by Illyri in what looked like a
Yes.
kind of sealed contest almost. And this match.
No, wait, if this brawl. Oh, wait, is that 8? Nope. Too short. Too short. Yep. GG. Even with the lucky brawl, she
Yep.
gets the job done.
Yes,
So
indeed.
we'll definitely need to ask him about that call right there if he remembers.
Certainly. So that is game 2 to Illyri, and
We have our first game 5 here, Robobson.
yes, we do. And now what we've got to go into, Red Waller, is Shadowwalk versus Quest Warrior. That is a really bad matchup. Illyri decided to play with probably the harder matchup of her 2 remaining ones there. And now she's left with a very favourable matchup for game 5. So things are looking pretty rosy if you're in Team Illyri right now.
Whew. Yeah, they are. Wow, what a turnaround. I thought she was dead in the water.
I thought that was going to be a clean sweep at one point, but nope.
Yeah. I wonder how much practice Andrew has with this Quest Warrior.
It seems like a moderate amount, but yeah, I think he needs to go be more aggressive once the quest is completed. He still played. That's kind of the main sticking point with the fact that you need to change your playstyle so dramatically pre-quest and after quest. You can play it like a control deck pre-quest because you still have your armor hero power. You can play quite passively and recover some health gain each turn. Once you play the sulfurous weapon, you lose that. You get a very offensive hero power, which means that if you play like Illyri, just kind of acknowledging that I'm going to put you on a clock if you put me on a clock, you can't play quite so passively anymore, and that's really what cost Andrew that game 4 right there.
Yep, I agree. He could have at least guaranteed 50-50s from that point on if he had done that hero power. So
Hero power, especially with the second brawl in hand, it would have put him in a much stronger position right there. So we've let the players know that they can get going.
may need a breather after that one.
That was a big one.
My goodness.
That was a big one.
All right, so I don't have a lot of experience with this next matchup, and the Shutter Shaman, as you mentioned, just has
Pretty
a lot
strong matchup.
Yeah.
Like this is one of the matchups where you need to, as the quest warrior, you need to complete your quest very quickly.
Yep.
And as we've seen, Andrew's particular list can struggle with that because he's cut a lot of the mid-game taunts, things like the 5-drops, like the Direhorn Hatchling or the Rotten Apple Bomb, and replaced those with this Rush package. And the Rush package against Shadowwalk Shaman does almost nothing because they play very few minions. What you just need is, you need to curve like Cornered Sentry into Stonehill, into Saronite, into a 5-drop, into double Phantom Militia, into quest completion on 7 or 8, and then start slamming them in the face.
Yep. But as you said, yeah, we have not seen Andrew be able to do that yet. He struggled a little bit.
Yep. And then like the other thing we saw Andrew struggle a little bit with in that game was actually going on the aggressive, which is something that he, in this game he really needs to acknowledge his role in the matchup and just start smashing Illyri in the face. Otherwise, Illyri's going to get all the time she needs to amass her combo pieces. The Firebloom Harbinger, the Saronite, the Life Drinker, the Grumble, the Murmuring Elemental, all of this stuff. And she's just going to be able to go, okay, yep, I'm gonna infinite damage you. So
Not a bad option. Waiting on the players now.
Yeah, they're deciding which of their 1 decks remaining to play, I believe.
Tough decision.
Yep, I think
Andrew
so.
could just be taking 5 minutes, get up, recollect his thoughts after losing 2 in a row after winning the first 2. Because remember, this is, if anyone's joined us now, this is for the sole possession of first place in the community league. something you definitely want heading towards that playoff push. We just have 1 week left after this.
Yep. This next game decides who is in first place.
And in a very contested community conference. So.
Yep. I mean, we've apparently got a bit of time. Do you want to talk about kind of the standings so far? Who else is in the running?
Yeah, sure. Let me pull it up real fast.
This is your jam.
This is kind of what we do. So Illyri and Andrew are both at 4-1 right now. They're tied. If the other two in the community conference standings who are also tied for first place is Team Toast and Red Knight. Red Knight won his week already. And Team Toast, I believe, is yet to play. Let me check the schedule real quick before we get into this game.
Didn't Edelweiss play last night on behalf of Team Toast and beat Storm Rage?
I have not watched the VODs for that one yet. So if that's the case, then we will have a tie for first place. I don't think that is recorded yet. So,
right. But in any case, Team Toast tearing it up, but we are getting into Game 5. And this... Well, no, so with Team Toast's win, wouldn't that be a tie for second place with whoever loses this game? Whoever wins this game will be in first place.
Let me double
Oh
check.
my god, and look at this opening hand for Illyri.
That's what Andrew wanted to see in his opening hand.
No, that's what Illyri wanted to see in his opening. Andrew did want to see the quest. Oh my...
Oh, wow. Shutterwalk. Well, he does have the taunts, though, Robobson, so...
He does, but like this is kind of how I always view Hearthstone. In a matchup where both players draw very well, it's still going to often come down to their more favoured matchup. Illyri has the option of just playing Fireplume Harbinger on curve because she already has all the elementals in her hand. That's insane.
It's usually a good thing.
That is
usually good. Oh, and going back to the standings point, if with Edelweiss winning, then Team Toast should be at 5-1 right now, and whoever wins this will also be at 5-1. So there'll be a tie for second and a tie for first.
Team Toast tearing it up.
Andrew was the believe has the only win against Team Toast.
What a bully.
So it muddles up the standings a little bit more because the tiebreakers go to games won and head to head and that kind of thing, and it's very, very congested at the top. But getting back into things, we have a lot of tar creepers all of a sudden on the board. If Red Knight was watching this, he would be very upset right now.
Yep, his personal pet hate is, of course, the tar creeper. And Illyri, I really want to see Illyri just kind of lay down this Fireflume Harbinger while there's not a great deal going on in this game. Or could just play the Sarah Light Chain Gang. Of course, that needs to be played at some point.
Yep. She wants to make sure the Shutterwalk turns into 2 Shutterwalks.
Yep. Because as it stands, Illyri is going to be able to... All Illyri needs to draw is Life Drinker right now, and she wins the game on turn 9.
Oh boy, so that does put a ton of pressure. What do you think here? Yeah. Oh, he's going to drop the Town Crier right away, Robobson. That brings that Rabid Worgen. We've seen it a lot.
Yep, and I mean, it's going to get the start. This is kind of what we're talking about. This is, I think, matchup unfamiliarity. Andrew cannot be fighting for board in this matchup.
Like no, he has to ignore the board.
Yeah, he needs to, like, he needed to play the Chain Gang this turn. Like the Manatide, that's a pretty good pickup for Illyri. Just can play the Manatide, can play the Loot Hoarder. Just keep on drawing some cards.
Yep. Fireplume also an option. I guess Andrew could be thinking that he has an extra turn. He doesn't want to play the Phantom Militia on turn 5.
I suppose.
But now, if he draws another taunt, he's kind of in a rough spot.
Yeah, but this is the thing. If you played the Saronite Chain Gang last turn, they'd be able to attack next turn, as well as the Rabid Worgen, which he drew from the Town Crier.
Good point. Yep, and now it looks like Illyri's just going to set up that Manatide, Loot Hoarder, just draw her. Oh boy, a lot of cards.
Yes, there is a lot of cards in hand, and Illyri literally needs to draw one card in her deck at any point in the next few turns. And then
Yeah,
it's
if they're
life
both
trigger.
at the bottom two, that's...
Yeah. One thing we have not seen is a Hemet. I don't believe it is in this deck.
What was that, Robobson? What card?
The Hemet. I don't believe that is in this deck. No, it is not. So there's no kind of deck, huge amount of deck thinning available there.
Oh boy, Andrew's still fighting for the board here.
He has cleared the board. That is
good. He did need to kill that Manatide totem.
Yep, that is fair. Grumble just available right now.
Yep, she dropped the Grumble on turn 6. That guarantees win. That's another combo piece. Marine Elemental and the Sandbinder, perhaps? Oh. Now the Grumble is 4 mana. I don't know how much that gains her, though.
I think it's just clearing out her hand.
Not a bad option.
But yeah, quite odd. I would have liked to just... I don't think she needed to play the Murmuring Elemental there. If she just played the Fireplume Harbinger, you put the Murmuring Elemental at 1 mana, so you have your guaranteed Shadow Walk at that point, and anything else is moot. But now, Grumble can come down. Lightning Storm is a pretty nice pickup as well. Maybe if you get a... Could actually Grumble Lightning Storm.
Yep.
That is a nice turn.
That is really good now because the Grumble kicks back. Oh, never mind. Okay.
Nope. Just gonna trade. Just play...
Sandbinder? Yep.
Yeah. I know.
Dims the deck a little bit.
It doesn't pick up the second Murmuring Elemental though, so Illyri through the past couple of turns has actually gone down a combo piece. Which is generally not how you play combo decks. Farsight, pretty good pickup, can be played in conjunction with the Tar Creeper to just keep putting more stuff on board. But card draw is probably the most important thing right now.
Yeah, I wonder if she slams that Farsight first. I think that would be my plan. See what you get.
Yeah, and Illyri cannot play the Grumble now. Grumble has to be played in conjunction with Murmuring Elemental at some point later on in the game. So, I've got to say I really don't like the way Illyri has approached the past few turns. And she's...
So what does that mean now, Robobson, that she just dropped that Grumble down?
Well, so there is one outcome from this which can still guarantee the Shadow Walk goes off. That's if Grumble is still on the board. If you play Shadow Walk onto a board which already has Grumble, it will return the Grumble to your hand. Then, if you do this on turn 10, it can then return. You can then play the Grumble to return the Shadow Walk to your hand, which will be 1 mana. But as it stands, Illyri has no way of making the full combo right now. She has used the Fireplume Harbinger and the Grumble to very limited effect, I'm gonna say.
Huh. Well, if you're Andrew right now, do you brawl this board?
I would. I think I. Well, this is like a really kind of. The Grumble thing is something that you would only know if you have played a good amount of Shadowwalk Shaman yourself.
He does. He's gonna brawl it.
Yeah, I think I would feel like I needed to kill Grumble.
Oh, he gets it.
Yep. I mean, there were 3 out of 4 good outcomes there from Andrew's perspective.
Exactly.
Like, the Sandbinder, you don't even care. Just so long as it's not the Grumble, you are happy. And, I'm honestly interested to see how Illyri takes this game from this point onwards. Andrew is going to complete the quest next turn with this Phantom Militia.
And she has yet to draw that Life Drinker. This is amazing. 12 cards left in the deck, no Life Drinker. Andrew completes his quest. Do you think he just slams the
100%.
Fire Plume right now?
I mean, it's a 3-mana weapon, Redwaller. You've got 3 mana.
Sophie Ross, yes.
Let's
Takes
get it.
out that Manatide. All of a sudden, Andrew is looking like he is in control of this matchup.
Right, and yeah, it somehow transpired this way.
Holy cow.
Keep on cycling.
That's a good good pickup right there from the far side. It reduces the Primordial Drake down to a 5-mana card.
Like, I mean, I talk about the combo. It is no longer a guaranteed combo, but there's still a moderate chance of it clearing the board.
And I have to say, I'm not as familiar with this variant of Shudderwalk. I'm used to seeing the Zola come down to kick out a card back, and
yeah, like Keleseth, the Zola is just kind of trying to maximize the chances of it hitting. The reason you play kind of Fireflame Harbinger and all these kinds of cards is because then you can 100% get a Shudderwalk to your hand. Is you generally play it in the slower matchups, like this one.
Wow, Andrew does see the combo. He clears the board, gets a card, 8 damage to face.
Might just play this Town Crier for the
Town Crier thins his deck out.
Yeah. There's a second Chain Gang. That is also very important because without the Murmuring Shudderwalk combo, it's got to play at least one of the Chain Gang battle cries before it plays the Grumble, because there's no Zola in the deck.
That's right. That's right, and I've seen the low roll there a couple times where...
Oh, I've experienced the low roll many times playing Shudderwalk Shaman.
If the Serenite does not go off before the kickback.
Yeah, one of the low points of the entire post-nerf meta for me was losing... It was the final game of a best of 5. The final game came down to Quest Priest versus Shudderwalk Shaman. I lost a match which had taken 80 minutes because Shudderwalk played Grumble and Zola first.
Oh my goodness.
I was just like, no, why?
Might just give up that point. Be like, what?
I quit Hearthstone. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, and Illyri, still no life drinkers. 7 cards left in deck.
That's amazing. All right. Andrew has plenty of options. He wants to keep clearing off this board.
Yep, so...
I think I don't know. Do you think he's thinking Brawl again?
I mean, you can draw a card by hitting the Acolyte into a Chain Gang first, and then attack with your weapon, which will...
That'll...
reduce number of minions on the board. Or can do this.
Yep.
This
he definitely just needs to keep hitting that hero power every turn. There it is, hits the face. That is a good...
That is a good outcome for Andrew.
Very good. And then he's going to swing with the weapon, drops it down to 1 durability. There is the Life Drinker.
So
it doesn't... Volcano Life Drinker, but then she's overloaded.
Yeah, but I think it does have to happen. She can Volcano, Life Drinker, and play the 0-mana Doomsayer.
Yep.
Yeah, but then she is overloaded on the following turn.
Cannot play the Shudderwalk the next turn. That's amazing. 7 cards left. She finally picks it up.
6 cards left. One of them is the second Life Drinker.
Right, she was the...
Oh yeah, that's very clever. Uses the... Well, it kills off the Acolyte before playing the Volcano to minimize card draw for Andrew. Plays the Life Drinker, so a hero power to face does not directly kill her, although the weapon will still finish the job. And
Warpath.
That's game.
For 8. Or for 4.
So 3 Warpaths, execute the Doomsayer, hero power face, weapon face is
Let's
lethal
see if he
for
sees
Andrew.
it.
Yep, the well-played
are coming out.
The well-played does imply that's going to be it. Oh, or doesn't even need to use the Warpath. No, the weapon, execute, double Warpath, hero.
Or Crowley. He's going to go for the Flare. Plays the Crowley to clear.
Goes for the flashy Crowley lethal. I like it. I like it a lot. And Andrew gets the unfavorable matchup to tie up, to win the series, in fact. And
what a match.
Yeah, that was a That was a big old one.
Oh my goodness.
And that is going to be 3-2 to Andrew over Illyri. Gosh damn.
Feel drained for Bobson again.
Yep.
This was more.
We keep having
This was
these
closer.
big matches.
Yep.
So I think we're going to have a little interview because I'm getting a little bit pressed for time. This one took a bit longer than I was anticipating.
Yeah, maybe we get him in here for just a few minutes.
Yes. Let's get them. So, need to be friends with Andrew.
Sweet.
And
Okay.
Right, me and Andrew are now friends. Now I need to be friends with Illyri, and then we are going to be good to go. Everyone can be my friend.
Yay.
Yay! Right, so Red Wall up.
Interview. Looks like Illyri. Perfect. Okay.
Do you have them both?
Yep, they both are ready. They both can. They say they can both talk.
Right. Can you create a
Friend.
DM?
Yes.
Slide on in there.
Okay, so I can. We have a party. Hold on. Should I end this call and then hop in?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me invite you. Add friend. We want Robobson. There we go. All right, you should have got it.
Yes. Right. Fantastic. So gonna end this call quickly.
Okay.
Right, just waiting to get into this call, and we'll have a nice little interview for y'all. Bear with me for just 1 second. Discord has, for the second time in a row, crashed, so I'm just getting back into this call.
Yeah, and then I'm just waiting for the life drinker, and they were
Yes.
they were both in the final 5 cards of my deck.
Hello.
That
Sorry,
stinks.
Discord
Hi.
crashed. So if you've been saying anything for the past 45 seconds, it's been lost to the world, I'm afraid. So,
Oh no.
hello, both of you. Congrats on a much longer match than we were expecting, especially after the first 2 games.
No doubt, yeah.
Yeah. So congrats, Andrew, on.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. That was I messaged Illyri and it was absolutely true. That was the toughest match. I mean, just every single play. I was shaking at the end. That's right.
Game 4 was nuts. I was literally like, does it actually come down to one turn? Like you literally had me at 2, and then I was like, I'm just gonna life steal your health.
Yeah, Game 4 is actually one of the big things that we want to talk about, because in the end, Andrew, it came down to that turn you decided not to hero power.
Mm-hmm. Yep, regret it 100%.
Yeah, that's the big thing we're talking about, because you played quite passively towards the end, and in the end, Illyri's hero power just kept sucking the life out of you.
Yep.
Literally.
It was
Literally.
actually about mid-game that I thought, I'm pretty sure I've got this in the bag. And then immediately after my gut thought that, my opposing gut said, don't you dare count her out. And I think in a moment of weakness, I was like, I can just brawl in Darius and then I'll get ahead and then I'll be fine for the rest of the game. But yeah, by the end, I was like, oh, that literally lost me the game right there. It may not have won me the game necessarily, but it would have been a better play to keep hero powering.
Yeah, I think in that matchup, you've really got to be the aggressor, especially at by that point, you'd used all of your armor gain as well as lost the armor gain hero power. So I think that's why Illyria was like, okay, I've got 2 mana every turn to hero power and then 8 mana to play cards.
Yeah, no, for real, because my health was low too. So it's not even like taking his health. It was like I need more. And I was trying to balance that with the so bad with card names. If you have 15 or less health.
Yes, the retriever.
Right, so I was like, okay, now I have to forward think as to when I can play those, because I knew in that matchup I would need all the value I could get. I was not going to play those if they weren't going to get that buff, especially with the hero power coming down.
Yeah, I think game before you handled it really, really well. The way you kind of managed your health and you saw that your best avenue to we were talking about it kind of 5 turns before the end, that how you saw the clock that you could put on Andrew and you just needed to survive until that point, and you executed that very, very well.
I was sitting here squealing 3 more turns.
3, 2, 1, yes.
Yeah, no, I was just sitting here oh my god, I just need it's honestly, I don't know, I think that speaks a lot to you, Andrew, that if your opponent is I just need to get through this number of turns, it was so close, it really was.
Yeah.
And that was good stuff.
Yeah, and of course the other game we really want to talk about is game 5.
I don't want to talk about it. I haven't played. Just disclaimer, when that deck first came out, it was when Toast was streaming it, and it was that whole meme of he literally went and laid on his bed while it was going on forever. It's that deck. It hasn't changed. I haven't played it because at that time I was like, oh, I'll try this deck on ladder. The only time I've won with it was when someone just insta conceded when we joined the game. I've played it less than 10 times, but have never won with it. And as soon as I woke up late this morning and was like, I need a deck, and I was like, as soon as we went into the match, I was like, I should have done Murlocs or something. I should have done something a bit different, something maybe I've won with before. So I was hesitant going into it, but I don't know. I can't win with it. I understand it. I feel enough, but maybe I don't. I just can't win with it.
Because that's the other thing we talk about. You did seem a little bit unfamiliar with the combo and the interactions between the different cards, because you had all the different ways of guaranteeing a Shudderwock returning to your hand, but you used them all before you played Shudderwock. And that was kind of a bit where we were both kind of confused by me particularly. I've played quite a lot of Shudderwock. You need to have a 1-cost Murmuring Elemental in your hand from either Grumble or the Fire Plume.
Yeah.
That's the guaranteed, but you did use them both prior, and that's kind of a bit that confused me. In the end, it just didn't.
That happened.
Yeah, that was
that and not getting the life drinkers. We talked about that.
Yes, not getting the life drinkers was also very
cards, and I think that was really I don't know, shifting my focus, because in my head I'm I need to play these cards before I do anything with Shudderwock. That was what was in my mind. So I probably could have played Shudderwock earlier, but in my head I was like, no, you don't play it till you've played these cards.
I mean, if it had been later on and you had a whole bunch of 1-mana Shudderwocks, and then in a turn you could have gone Life Drinker, Shudderwock, still would have probably been fine. You don't need to necessarily play every part of the combo. At least not the Life Drinker. You can play all the parts which return Shudderwocks to your hand and just fill up your hand with Shudderwocks. Then once you draw a Life Drinker, great, then they just die. But until that point, they can't really kill you. I think that's that one.
Anything else you wanted to talk about, guys? It was good stuff.
Yeah, it was a very enjoyable match. Oh, also, Andrew, the priest deck.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm a huge fan of your golden steambot.
Aren't they beautiful? I was like, man, I finally get to use these. It's awesome.
It is such a pretty golden card.
It really is.
I am a very big fan of that one, and you did handle that one very well, I felt.
Have you played that deck a lot, Andrew? I'm curious, because it's been doing really well on ladder.
Yeah, in the past 24 hours, I put a lot of games into it because I'm more familiar with Quest Warrior from past seasons and what was the other deck? Gosh, I'm blanking.
Recruit Hunter.
Yeah, the Recruit Hunter. That deck's a bit simple to play in ways. So the combo priest was the one I was most worried about. So I spent a lot of time trying it out, and honestly, didn't have a ton of success. But I think I lost enough with it that I came in knowing what to do. So.
Yeah, that's fair. And the Recruit Hunter has kind of got the unfortunate thing of, like, you just play it exactly the same as Spell Hunter for the first 5 turns. And then you just play
Leary, did you realize that was Recruit Hunter until he played
the Oozling?
6 mana? Yeah.
Oh no. I was like, Spell Hunter, cool. And then he played a minion. I was like, oh,
Wait, what?
what is this?
Oh no,
honestly,
huge
I was just
dinosaurs.
like, what is happening? I don't know. I'm not up to date. I don't play ladder. Like, you can probably see that my rank right now is like 24 or something. Like, I play for the card back on ladder every month. I don't play. I don't know. It's tricky because I get caught off guard with stuff like that. Like, if it's not like a very, very, very well-known meta deck, I'm like, I don't know what this is. What's happening? I'm just gonna wing it. So it was fun though. It was fun to kind of be playing against these different variations for sure. It's always more fun that way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's
all right. Well, I guess we should probably end this. In 2 hours, we have our next match. So,
thanks so much for casting, guys. Really appreciate you being here.
No worries.
Absolutely.
Found out about it 10 minutes before the match. All good. But fortunately, I live in Europe, so I don't have anything better to be doing with my time until I've got to play a match in just a few minutes. But yeah, so Red War, what's the next match that everyone can tune into? Do you know?
Looks like the last match of the week, Mr. Rod Johnston and Jordan Lingo. Be the last one. That's at 2 o'clock Eastern.
Yep, and that's undoubtedly going to be one of the spicier meme matches. Not quite as dead set and serious as these two fine people here. So thank you all for playing. That was a great match. Really enjoyed casting it. Congrats to Andrew on your joint first place in the league now. You're joint with Team Toast.
Thanks.
Which I believe puts you first, as you are the only person to beat them, so you are ahead on tiebreakers. And commiserations to Illyri. You played very well, and you've been doing pretty well.
She's still in the playoffs right now, so that's a good thing.
For someone who supposedly doesn't play, you've been pretty much killing it this season.
I've been top decking a lot, I gotta say. It did, like, a couple times I felt really bad. I'm like, I don't know if I should have won that. Like that loss, I don't know. It's like it's come close a lot. It hasn't usually been like crazy, just dominating games. It's been really fun with everyone. It's been a good time.
Yep, we've all enjoyed watching you play. So thanks to both of you, and thanks Red Wall. And I think we're going to wrap it up just there. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and remember to tune in to Rod Johnston and Jordan Lingo in just 2 hours' time. So see you then.
Bye everyone.